right, so there's a lot of different orders you could do this in, a lot of different ways. But basically the bottom number is the root and the top number is the power. So that means 5 to the third, the square root of 5 to the third. It really basically means the square root of 5 to the third. So that's the square root of, so the square root of 5 times 5 times 5. And there's a lot of ways you can do this. It's the square root of 25 times the square root of 5, which is 5 squared of 5. There's a lot of ways you could do that. There's not one right way, but that's just the way, the bottom number is digging into it, the top number is squaring it. So like you could go the third root of 8 squared, right? Which is the third root of 64, which is the number that multiplies by itself 3 times to get to 4, which is 4. You could also go the third root of 8 squared, which is the third root of 8 times the third root of 8, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. So there's a lot of different ways to do these. But the important thing to get is that it's, the bottom is digging in, the top is making it bigger. This is the square root of 32 to the third. So that's an interesting one, right? It's a square root of, So now again, here's another way. I think it's backwards from the way you did it. Let's say we could say the square root of, I don't know if they taught you this way. 32 is 2 to the 5th. I don't know if they taught you this way. So that's the square root of, I'll show you another way in a second, 2 to the 15th. And so that's the square root of 2 to the 14th times the square root of 2. So the square root of 2 to the 14th is just 2 to the 7th times the square root of 2, which is 32, 64, 128, radical 2. Another way to do this, I think I saw them do this for you, or whoever did that. You could have the square root of 32 to the third. It doesn't matter the order that you do it in. The same with all these other ones. I could have done it that other way. But going with this, so the square root of 32 is the square root of 16 times the square root of 2 to the third. So that's 4 radical 2 to the third. So that's, now again, even right here, there's 2 ways to do this, right? One way is to go, probably the easiest way, I would say, is just to go, let's say that we just go 4 radical 2 times 4 radical 2 times 4 radical 2, which is 4 times 4 times 4 is 64 radical 8, which is 64 radical 4 times radical 2, which is 64 times 2 radical 2, which is 128 radical 2. Same deal. You also could have gone, right from here, you could go 4 to the third times square root of 2 to the third. So that's 64 radical 8, which again is 64 radical 4 times radical 2, which is 64 times 2 radical 2, which is 128 radical 2. So any of those methods work. And there's more ways you could do. Every one of them, there's a lot of different ways. It's just a matter of which way is most comfortable to you.